Okay, so let us conclude this course. So the last but not the least part is about the control of Schrödinger equation. So Schrödinger equation, of course, is a dispersive equation, but now we will work in a dimension larger than 2, 1, 2, 3. And so, in addition to the problem we faced before, we should have to deal with the geometry of the control region. So you have new difficulties that appear. And so let us write a typical Schrödinger equation. So NLS. The typical one is this one. So this is a cubic one. So U is a function of x and t. It takes complex value. X belongs to some open set in Rn, and n is larger than 1. T, of course, is the time, and delta is, of course, the Laplacian. Okay. So related to the Schrödinger equation, you have also the plate equation. And actually, a lot of papers were devoted to this equation, but actually both are related in the linear case. So the plate equation is this one. And they are related. This is some observation due to Roche. You can actually factorize this operator in this way. Okay, so when you do this very formal writing, you see that actually, so the plate equation is related to Schrödinger equation, and so actually, you have a lot of common control result. Okay. And now for the application, actually, well, of course, the plate equation is important because it's a model for the vibration of structure. And for the Schrödinger equation, most of the application deals with the so-called bilinear control problem, where you put some control depending on you. On the state and of some input, and this is important in chemical chemistry, in quantum chemistry. Okay. So let us review the result for the linear Schrödinger equation. So I will focus on this equation. And I will either consider the boundary control with Dirichlet boundary data, or the internal control written this way. So you take the characteristic function on some open set, you multiply by your control, and U is 0 on the boundary. Okay, so first contribution is due to Jacques Lyons, and actually it was for the plate equation. So he obtained some control result for that with some boundary control. So after you have a result by Gilles Lebeau, And this result actually is one of the best to date. So it was proved in 1992. And it tells you that when the wave equation is controllable, the same is true for Schrödinger equation. Well, there are some assumptions. So omega is, of course, bounded, but analytic. It is a strong assumption. So the boundary is very regular. So it tells the result was if the geometric control condition is satisfied, then the Schrödinger equation is controllable. So what is the geometric control condition? It is a necessary and sufficient condition for the control of the wave equation. I will give the statement. I will just do picture in the convex case, which is quite simple to understand, to feel. So what is the geometric control condition? It tells you that any ray propagating in omega and reflected according to the law of geometrical optics so each rays like this has to meet the control region. And if you want to obtain a control result for the wave equation in time t, it has to be in a time less than t, so control region. And in the boundary control case, you have to say that it is at a non-diffractive point. Bon. For the moment, let us focus on the internal control problem. So this is a necessary and sufficient condition for the exact controllability of the wave equation. So this is a result by Bardos, Lebeau, and Rauch. And this was proved in 1992. So let us do a picture for a convex set to simplify so that we will not have bad points. So you start from any point inside. You consider one ray. Okay. It meets the boundary. So it is reflected according to the law of Snell-Descartes. So like this. And so on. You continue like this. And so on. And so what you can say is that the wave equation with some internal control is controllable in time t if and only if, so this is your small control region that I will call so omega. So you have the exact controllability in time t if and only if each of these rays meets this region in a time less than t. So it's a necessary and sufficient condition for the wave equation. This is well understood. Now, so Gilles Lebeau proves that if it is fulfilled, then you have also the exact controllability of Schrödinger equation. And I should also add that in small time, in any time, not in a time larger than t0. Okay. So it is a quite efficient result. We will see later that actually this geometric control condition is not necessary, and that's precisely the problem. we don't have, for the moment, a necessary and sufficient condition for the Schrödinger equation. Okay, so there was also some result by Hélène Mattinger. So in 1994, and so it was for the boundary control of Schrödinger equation and also the internal control, but the condition is now more easy to understand, and it is for some open set which is just of class C3, if I remember. So it does not need. You don't need some analytic control set, open set. So the condition is the following. Oh, I need to do some picture. So this is actually the condition that people consider for the control of the wave equation by using multiplier. It is also called the all-Lyons condition. So let us draw any open set like this. I consider some point which is not inside. Okay. And okay, the control region will be like this. So you introduce m of x, which is x minus x0, if you consider any point at the boundary, so you have a vector actually. And gamma naught will be the set of points on the boundary such that the scalar product of m of x by the normal vector n of x is strictly positive. So you write everywhere the normal vector, n of x, okay? So this is my set gamma 0, you see. Here the two vectors are collinear with the same direction. The scalar product R is positive, and here it will be negative, okay? Now we have the result. So the result is the following. If this set is included in omega, in gamma, then we have the exact controllability of Schrödinger equation in this space, h minus 1 of omega, in any time t larger than 0. So for the space, actually, you can see that if you consider the system, if h is L2 in time and in space, your solution actually are continuous in time with value in h minus 1. So this is the good space corresponding to a control h, which is always in L2. And here we take also h, which is L2 with value in L2 of omega. Okay, so this is the result. And of course, what is nice is that now it's more easy to appreciate because, okay, you can see if your control region satisfies this property or not. So it's quite, for instance, if you take a circle like this, so you can apply the result provided that your control region is slightly larger than half a circle. You can make it if it is slightly larger. You just have to take a point x0 on the left. Okay, you can make it. So it's easy to appreciate. And for the internal control, it's quite similar. You just have to take actually a neighborhood of this red region, and you have also some exact controllability result. so internal control. So you have the exact controllability in L2 of omega if the small omega is defined this way. You take actually a neighborhood of the region in red. So I can draw what is small omega. It should be something like that. Okay, so you have exactly the same result in L2 with in small time. Okay. Okay, so some extension were provided also by Kengsheng Yu. In 1997. So I will not write the result, but it tells you that if the wave equation is controllable, then the Schrödinger equation is controllable, and also that the controllability of the Schrödinger equation is equivalent to the controllability of the plate equation. Okay, and the set didn't need to be analytic, so you have some improvement for the smoothness of the set. And what is interesting is also is that you use another approach, which is based on frequency domain consideration. So, and I will now look a little bit at this kind of criterion. And so we have also result by Kim Dong-Fung and Luc Miller. So again, this result tells you that if the wave equation is controllable, it is also true for the Schrödinger equation. And to prove that, they use another approach, which is actually very nice, which is the so-called transmutation approach. You use also the so-called canite transform. And so this is some integral transformation that transform a solution of the wave equation into a solution of Schrödinger equation. And actually, it turns that it is well adapted to the control problem. So you can, in some sense, recover the result by Gilles Lebeau by using this direct approach. So it is quite nice for that. Okay, but now I will give you some idea about this frequency domain approach. And so the idea is to consider another criterion to prove the exact controllability. So you forget about the observability inequality and you want to see it in another way. So what is the frequency domain test? So it is some extension for PDEs of the classical Autus lemma. So it is the extension of Autus lemma, which is the criterion to see whether a control system in finite dimension is controllable or not. So Autus lemma tells you that if you have still this kind of system, but in finite dimension, so something quite simple. So A and B are matrices. Then the exact controllability is equivalent, actually, to a rank condition like this. The rank of the matrix A minus lambda identity, and you put on the right the other matrix B. So this big matrix has need to have a rank equals to n. So I say that A is in this space for any lambda in C. Okay, and so it turns that you can extend this kind of property for PDEs, and it has been done by several people. So now for PDE, so we have this extension actually. So this is a result actually proved by several people and improved over time. So first Liu, Burke, Zworsky, and finally Miller. So let us consider again this system at now it is for unbounded operator, so for PDE. And you assume that A is okay, some operator from DA with value in H, and assume B bounded, but actually you have some extension for unbounded operator. And the criterion is the following. You have exact controllability, so something to extend this Autus lemma. You have exact controllability. So you have exact controllability in some time t larger than 0, if and only if you have some estimate. There exists some delta positive such that you have A star minus lambda identity Z square plus B star Z square is larger than lambda Z square for any Z in the domain of A star and for any lambda. Okay, so this is an extension of Autus lemma, but of course you have some estimate which is involved because you work on for PDEs. So this is okay, something which is interesting. We can refine a little bit when you have some operator which is skew adjoint, so that's the case for Schrödinger equation. So if in addition A is skew adjoint, so I mean A star is minus A. So instead of considering every lambda, you just can focus on the eigenvalue. So we will also assume that we have a compact resolvent. And so the spectrum can be written this way. So I will note lambda n equals I mu n. And so the condition, actually, the exact controllability is equivalent to this estimate. There exists delta such that A star minus I mu n Z square plus B star Z square is larger than delta Z square for any n and for any z. Okay? And of course, it would be nice to see if we can just restrict z to be some eigenvector of the operator. So I will give some names to this criterion. So this is 1, this is 2. So, of course, 2 implies something which is much nicer to manipulate. So you just take Z equal En, assuming that A star of En is precisely I mu n En. So, of course, the first term disappears. And, okay, you write to this thing, B star of En square larger than delta En square. You arrive to this thing, okay? Of course, you can take En with a norm which is 1 in your space H. Okay, and so, for instance, I remind you that if B of U is just, U times the characteristic function of omega, I remind you that B star is just, B star applied to Z is just Z restricted to omega. And so, this condition 3 means just that, okay, you compute the L2 norm, for instance, if H is L2, you compute the L2 norm of the eigenfunction on omega, it is bounded from below. Well, of course, this thing is quite nice to consider. The problem is that actually 2 is not equivalent to 3. It is not equivalent. So actually 2 is not equivalent to 3. And so we don't have this way some criterion to see whether the Schrödinger equation is controllable or not. Actually, 2 is not equivalent, so 3 does not imply 2. And to have some criterion in terms of just the eigenvectors, actually, you have to take not only one eigenvector each time, but actually you have to take a linear combination of several eigenvectors. Well, I will not quote the result. Well, there exists a result by Chen and some other collaborators, and by Ramdani and some collaborators, which give necessary and sufficient conditions for controllability in terms of the system that you have at hand, in terms of packet of eigenfunction, not only one. Okay. Okay, so now with all this material, actually we have some more result. And okay, we have examples which are quite interesting because we can see that the control of the Schrödinger equation is quite different from the control of the wave equation. So I will give some additional result. And it corresponds to spatial geometry. So first, for the square. So internal control. Let us begin with the internal control. So the result is the following. So we consider first the square. And it was proved by Alain Haro. So it was in 1990 that you have exact controllability if omega is any interval AB times 0, 1. So this is the picture. So you have 0, 1. And, okay, your control region is like this. Okay. So it was a big surprise at this time because people were convinced that the control property of Schrödinger were exactly the same for the wave, but it is not the case. And so I will prove that by using in-Gans lemmas, this kind of stuff. And so this thing, of course, is not controllable for the wave equation because you have tripled ray. You have rays that are bounced indefinitely without meeting the control region. So the wave equation is not controllable with this kind of control region, but Schrödinger equation is. So it was a big surprise. And it was so proved in 1990. And this result was immediately actually improved by Stefan Jafar the same year. And you have actually, so I write again as the equation. And you take zero boundary condition, for instance, on the boundary. Okay. So it proves that you have actually the same thing is if omega is any subset, open subset. So for any omega non-empty open subset. So you have the same property with any small omega. So it was also a surprise because in that case it's clear that you cannot control the wave equation. So it seems that you have the same kind of control property as for the heat equation. And so it was a big surprise. And the result was finally extended by Komornik to any dimension. Komornik did the same in 1991. So same result in any dimension. And to prove that, Komornik and Jafar actually use Kahan theory. So they use some result by Kahan. And this result may be seen as some extension of in-Gans lemma in dimension n. So you have non-harmonic Fourier result in dimension n done by Kahan, actually, and that were used exactly to solve the problem. And another point which is important is that in this approach, you treat the time and the space at the same time. So you do not make difference between time and space. And so you consider frequency mixing time and space. That's for the internal control. So you have also, for this kind of simple geometry, boundary control result. For which, of course, the wave equation is not controllable, so it's different. So you look at that. Let us focus on the Dirichlet control problem. So first in dimension 2, so it's a result by Ramdani, Takahashi, Tenenbaum, and Tuxnack. And they use precisely the result that I mentioned that before, but that I don't want to state because I don't have enough time. And they prove that we have exact controllability. So still the control is in L2. And the state is in continuous in time with value in h minus 1. Okay? So you have exact controllability in any positive time if and only if your control region, gamma, has to have an horizontal part and some vertical part. That may be very small, but you need these two parts, and it is a necessary and sufficient condition. So you put some part here, for instance, which may be small, and another part here. So you have the horizontal, the vertical part. All this thing is in gamma, and with that you are able to control your Schrödinger equation. Still, the wave equation is not controllable because you have tripled wave. And so it means that you have a difference. So it was in dimension 2. And in any dimension, we don't have to date a complete extension of that, actually, because this result involves some number theory. And it turns that the proof cannot be extended with this kind of tool in dimension larger than 2. So with another approach, we have some partial extension of it. So now it is in any dimension, and it is a result by myself and Bingyu Zhang, I think in 2010. So exact controllability if gamma contains or is a neighborhood, it's an open neighborhood of some vertex. So I mean, I just do the picture in dimension 2 to simplify. What we say is that, okay, gamma may be something like that. This is a load. If you have that, okay, you are done. But for the moment, we don't know if we can separate the horizontal part and the vertical part. And we did it by another approach, actually. We use multipliers, and it works in any dimension. Okay, so still, we have some open question. So if you can extend fully Ramdani's work, this result, et al. Result, in dimension L. Okay. Okay. And about the example and counterexample, so there was some example due to Chen. So Chen and his collaborator. So if you look at what happens for the ball, so you have a result, actually, that we know for a long time, that if you control on a neighborhood of the wall boundary, then we have the exact controllability. Actually, it is a consequence of Ehlenman-Schrödinger result, because we just need actually half of a neighborhood of the full boundary. So in this case, this is omega, we have exact controllability. Now, okay, do the converse. So consider the complement. Assume now that you control inside. So on some ball inside, in that case, you don't have the exact controllability. So in that case, we don't have the exact controllability, and they use so their frequency domain consideration to prove that this thing, Schrödinger equation, with this control region is not controllable. So what is the guess, actually, about the condition? It's not a conjecture, it's just a guess. It seems that the controllability is related, actually, to the existence of stable triple ray. So it's not a conjecture, so it's just a guess. So it's not a theorem. And I will try to explain you this guess. So the Schrödinger equation probably is controllable, exactly. So if and only if, but it is not a theorem, so I just write this symbol. If and only if, so every stable ray meets the control region in some time. I remind you that for the wave equation, the condition was every ray meets the control region. Here, we focus only on stable ray. By stable, I mean that you have a ray, you perturb slightly the direction at some point, and you see the ray stay close to the previous one. So I mean, you have a ray like this. You have a point. You take some direction which is very close, like this. You obtain another ray. Of course, after you have reflection, you have bands. Okay? You don't know what happens. We shall say that it is stable if it is still close, it remains close to the previous one. This is just a guess, but okay, now if it is true, we understand why it is why we have so different results for the Schrödinger equation on a square. So let us consider again the picture with the square, and actually it was recently justified by Burke and Zworsky by using a microlocal analysis. So okay, so let us start from this bad ray, which is a trapezed ray. And let us assume that the control region is, say, this one. So when you perturb slightly this way, so you will obtain this direction, for instance, what happens? You have that, and finally, okay, you will meet the control region. And so in this case, you don't have, in some sense, a stable ray, because this is due to some classical ergodic properties of rectangle. If you perturb slightly, you have some direction for which actually you have some trajectory which is completely dense. This is okay. What people think actually, but it's just a guess and it's not a theorem. Okay, so that's what I wanted to say for the linear Schrödinger equation. And if you do that for it, of course, if you take some way like this, so it will be, of course, reflected in this way. But if you perturb slightly the direction, it does not change a lot. So these rays are stable. Okay. So it seems to be consistent with this kind of guess, but nobody knows how to prove that, if it is really true. Okay. So I will conclude with the nonlinear Schrödinger equation. Just review the result about this thing. So the first one, to my knowledge, is due to Bellassem-Desmanes, Patrick Gérard, and Gilles Lebeau in 2006. And their result was for a manifold which is compact, without boundary, and of dimension 2. Okay, so they proved the exact controllability and also the global stabilization of some semilinear Schrödinger equation. I will not write it. Assuming the geometric control condition, actually they assume the geometric control condition, and another point which is important is that it was in the H1M space. Okay, so they work in H1. So, okay, they obtained result for that. That's the first result I know. So after there was some work by myself and Bing-Yu Zhang, where we considered the cubic Schrödinger equation on the torus. And we work so on the torus, and we obtain local exact controllability or stabilization in L2 of T. So it was at the L2 level. So it was a difference. It was at the L2 level, and so we used Bourgain analysis. But we didn't use propagation of compactness or regularity introduced in this paper. And this was done precisely by Camille Laurent at almost the same time, actually. So this was in 2008, 2009. So the same thing, exactly the same equation, but it derived global result by combining, actually, Bourgain analysis with propagation of compactness and regularity. So next, there is some work by myself and Bing-Yu Zhang on T to the n. So we extended it to the torus in dimension n. So it was for omega equals T to the power n. And so we extended the local exact controllability and stabilization for this kind of nonlinear terms. So alpha 1 plus alpha 2, where exponent whose sum is larger than 2 and n is larger than 1. So we obtain quite a good result. And of course, we use a Komornik result for the linear equation, and we extended this kind of result. But in some Sobolev space with a regularity large enough to be able to deal with the nonlinear terms. And we use also Bourgain's approach. So we also considered boundary control. But it turns out the boundary control is not well understood, actually, because the well-posedness is quite difficult to investigate when you use Bourgain approach. So I will just propose this open question. The problem is well-posedness. So without any control issue, well-posedness when omega is like this, and you consider for instance, the Schrödinger equation with the cubic term. So what I know is that there are partial results in dimension 1 obtained by Bing-Yu Zhang, Jerry Bona, and Chuming Sun. In dimension 1, they have quite good result, actually, and they use a Strichardt estimate. But in dimension 2, we were just able to deal with a nonlinear term like this, not this one. So it's quite difficult, actually. And so, of course, if you don't have a good well-posedness theory, you are not able to deal with the control problem. And finally, so the first result I know is due to Camille Laurent, the same year. And this is for a manifold. So actually, it is the extension of the paper by Deman, Gérard, and Lebeau to manifold of dimension 3. So still compact, without boundary, but of dimension 3. And so we combine Bourgain's analysis with propagation of regularity, smoothness, and obtain good result in this framework. Okay, I think I will stop here. Thank you.